There's one little part in Lesson 7b. The at least one rule. The probability of at least one event A in n trials is 1 minus the probability that there will not be an A in that many trials. So you might want to write this 1 minus the probability of not A. Kind of seems like it makes more sense to me when you write it like that. Find the probability of getting at least 5. When you roll a dice 4 times, write your answer as a decimal. Well, the probability of a 5 is 1 out of 6. So the probability of not 5 would be 5 out of 6. This rule says that we would do 1 minus 5 out of 6. If we're going to roll that thing 4 times, that little 4 goes right there. Put that in your calculator. Approximately 0.517 answer. Number 2, probability of selecting a red M&M from a bag is 2 out of 5. So the probability of not red would be 3 out of 5. What is of at least one M&M being red when we draw 5 M&Ms from that bag? 1 minus 3 to the 5th power, approximately 2, 2, 2, 4. What's the probability of getting at least 1? 1 minus. What's the probability of that coin not being a tail? 1 out of 2. 1 out of 16. Final answer. Number 4. 10% of the students have the flu. One will have the flu. It says 10% of them have the flu. So if 10% have the flu, 90% do not have the flu. 1 minus 90% don't have flu. You'd write that 100. You're going to meet 8 students. Put that in your calculator. You're going to come out with 0.5695 approximately. Page is sort of a review. It's all the things that we've talked about in 7b. If it's an or problem, you're going to add. If it's an and problem, you're going to multiply. That kind of helps you think of what you're doing. And you're going to have all your notes when you're doing your homework. You're going to have all your notes when you're doing your test. It's just, can you read the problem and pick out what kind of problem it is? Determine the probability of selecting 2 rap songs without replacement. That's not the page I want to be on. This is the page I want to be on, where it's the recap. Sorry about that, y'all. And this is where I want to have R written. Means add. And means multiply. Read your problem. What's the probability of getting heads or a 2? So I'm looking up here. Okay, if it's an R, if I see that word R, I know I'm going to add. Probability of getting a heads when I roll 1, when I flip a coin, would be 1 out of 2. When I roll a dice, what is the probability I'm going to get a 2? 1 out of 6. Final answer, 2/3. B, what's the probability of getting heads and a 2? Okay, I flip my coin, I got a heads. I roll my dice, I got a 2. I got those same probabilities because now it says and. I multiply these, 1 out of 12. So you're looking for these words so you know what operation to do. Number 2, what's the probability of rolling rolling 5 fair dice and getting an even number on all 5? Well, you got to think. How many even numbers are on a dice? You got 2 and a 4 and a 6. So there's 3 even numbers on a dice, which means you got a 1 out of 2 probability of getting an even number every time you roll one. You're going to roll 5 of them, so you got 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, which is 1 out of 32. Final answer. Number 4. In a 4-child family, find the probability of getting at least one girl. At least one girl, or at least one is 1 minus not girl, raised to the n power. So, you're either going to be a girl or a boy. 1 minus 1/2. If there's 4 kids, you're going to put a 4 right there. That's 1 minus 1/16, which is 15 out of 16. With this video, my handout, the key to the handout, I believe you can do the homework.